Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel. And if you're new here, welcome to my channel, Joe Knows Adventure, where I share a lot of my adventures, whether I'm going on a cruise or traveling across America or Europe, just little bits and pieces of New Orleans, where I live and where to eat and where to enjoy certain things. But today I am continuing with my cruise to Alaska, and today we are in Skagway. So let's get started. Well, good morning from Skagway. Today it's Wednesday, and it's the 10th, 11th, 12th, 13th, 14th of June. You lose all track of time when you're on a cruise ship. So anyway, we had a great day yesterday in Juneau. It was cold. It started out to be raining a little bit, but once we got on the bus and got our way up to Mendenhall Glacier, what a beautiful, beautiful area. And then we went out whale watching, and we saw some whales and got to see a baby whale just playing around in the water. So that was outstanding. Got back a little late, about 9:30 at night, and then had a little quick bite to eat and into bed. So this morning we had to get up early. We're already docked, and it's 10 minutes to 7. So we're gonna run down and have a little breakfast. And then our excursion today is the train that takes us up to the top. And then we catch a bus to bring us back down. So we catch a little bit of both of the highway up and the highway down and the railway up. And it's supposed to be nice today. It's cold, obviously, but the sun is peeking through some clouds. It's beautiful. This is what I'm wearing. I'm layered, so I have a tank top on with this checkered top, my jeans, and my tennis shoes. I'll be bundled up with my jacket, scarf, gloves, hat, you name it. That's what I'll be wearing. So anyway, we're right up against the mountain here, so I'm going to take you a little picture of that, and we'll show you the rest of the day as we go along. All right, as you can see, we're right up against the mountain here. This is where they had the rock slides last year, but already growth is starting to fill in. And what made Skagway so fun was all the cruise ships would be putting their names on the rocks. But this is where we are. They're still tying up. Everybody on the bridge, checking out, making sure everything's fine. It's breezy, but when we were coming in, I was a little bit surprised to see such sunlight that way. We are on the 13th floor, and it looks like they're roping off everything. Looks like that's where we're going to get off, back there, maybe. It's hard to tell. Looks like we're going to go through these. So I guess because of the rock slide, maybe we come up and they've roped off this whole area here. So we'll probably go through these tunnels here and go on out. And I think we catch the train up there. I'm not sure. But the excursion will take us to where we need to go. All right, let's go have some breakfast. So we were a little confused because, or I was a little confused because I thought that we were going to be going on the train up and the bus down. But you know, they alternate these tours, so we were able to get on a small bus and take the Klondike Highway. And it was a comfortable bus, and it wasn't full like, you know, 100 people. It was very interesting. It was a great tour guide, and kind of gave us plenty of stories of the area, and a little history about himself being a guided tour, coming there to Skagway on the summer months to do this for the tourists. So we drove along the Klondike Highway and went up the West White Pass of the St. Elias Range. And the St. Elias Range is one of the highest coastal ranges in the world and one of the most scenic mountain roads. I mean, it was gorgeous. And our guide was, like I said, fantastic. And he would stop at several places so that we could get out of the bus and take photos of the beautiful scenery, waterfalls, just fantastic to see the mountains high in the distance with the snow caps, and it was great. Then once we got up to Fraser, British Columbia, we had a few moments there. There's a little building that you could go in and go to the bathroom. There's also beautiful scenery there as well. A lot of picturesque water around. And then from there we boarded the White Pass and Yukon route train for our return trip. So I was trying to decide how best to do this, give an introduction, and just like I did with the whale watching, just let you enjoy the scenery as we did, best that I could, photographing and with the music background. So I hope you enjoy this.
Be here on the left-hand side of the bus is Bridal Veil.
Look at that. Oh, wow.
So we arrived at the top. And once there, I was able to take some photos, like I said, and we boarded the train to take us back down. And I just thought I'd read a little bit about the train. The train was born out of necessity, of course, because in 1896, some gold flecks were found. And then in 1897, the headlines on the San Francisco, actually not San Francisco, the Seattle Post was gold, gold, gold. 68 men returned to Seattle, very rich. And that sparked the gold rush. And the problem with that was people were arriving in the city of Dia, I think it's pronounced, and Skagway. And they were taking horses and pack mules and whatever they could pack on their back, because they had to go quite a few miles to go up the Yukon. Each person was required to carry a ton of supplies up the Golden Stairs and to the summit of the Chilkoot Pass. And others chose the longer, less steep White Pass trail, believing that pack animals could handle that better. So both trails led to the interior lake country, where stampeders could begin a 550-mile journey through the lake systems to the Yukon River and the Gold Rush. Both trails were filled with hazards and harrowing experiences, and thousands of horses died. At least 3,000 horses died because they couldn't pack everything that they were supposed to take up these steep grades and the altitude. Men began immediately to think of easier ways to travel to the Klondike. So that's where the train. The story began in 1898, and the construction was completed in 1900. So the train, of course, through the years, have gone through various stages of upgrades and repairs, but the gold rush didn't last forever. So what to do with this train? In 1954, they used it to carry ore. Up to 1954, they used it to carry ore. It was operated by a steam engine until 1954, and the transition became a diesel-electric motive power. The metal prices plummeted in 1982, so the need for ore was reduced. So the operations were suspended. And in 1988, the White Pass and Yukon Railroad reinvented itself to become a tourist attraction. So just some really fascinating history, and I love history, and I love to read about the beginnings of things, and the Gold Rush era is a fascinating story. And if you've ever seen some of the movies that were produced out there, told some fascinating stories as well. And so I just wanted to experience both the highway and the railway down. So I think I'll just let you enjoy the railroad. The thing that we loved about it, or I did actually, because I stood outside the whole way down. Jim was in the seat, and you can look out the windows. That's not a problem. And there's a guide or a tourist person that answers questions and talks and points out different things. But I stood between the cars. There was a little platform, and you could go out on the platform and stand, which I did. So of course I reduced all the noise, so all you hear is the music, but it's kind of a loud thing because you hear the clickety-clack of the train. And I got some great pictures of the trip down, and I think you'll enjoy that. So here's a map of where we started in Skagway, and we chose to do the tour where we would go up the Klondike Highway on a bus, and we would get all the way up to Fraser, BC, get off the bus and hop on the train, and then take the train back. I highly suggest doing this because you get both of two worlds. You get the world of the actual being in a bus with a guided tour, and they'll make many stops so you're able to see a lot of vistas and history. And then bringing you down on the train is an experience in itself because you get to see a little of the history of the Klondike, the gold rush, and the vistas are amazing. So it's a very fun thing for kids, and both up and down still gives you plenty of time in Skagway, which is not a very big town, and you're able to spend time there. So we got off the train, and now we're in the little town of Skagway. Maybe it'll change a little bit as more tourists come in, but COVID really did a number on this little town. A few of the shops had closed. You know, Skagway, of course, relies on the cruise ship tourists coming in, and when we had COVID, there was no cruise ships for a couple years, and it really did hurt the businesses there. I noticed just the difference between when I had gone, because this is my third trip to Skagway, so I noticed the difference. But it's still a wonderful little town to go through, old, and the history is there. And of course, there's so many more things you can do in Skagway, just like any of the ports. I just felt one of the most popular ones is the railway. And I highly suggest splitting it up like we did, to go the highway up and the railway down instead of round trip railway. Just get a different perspective of the whole area. We walked through the town a little bit. We didn't went into a couple shops. We didn't go into any of the bars or anything. Not that we didn't want to. It's just we just felt we had quite a bit of walking to do yet. So we went ahead and walked through the city and town and just enjoyed that.
I dreamt I held you in my
as you can see, we just got back on board and the ship sailed away, and the skies were beautiful. I mean, as we were leaving, and just it's a long day, so you don't really see any darkness until like 10:30, 11 at night. But we had a nice dinner at Los Lobos. Really enjoyed that. Great atmosphere. The food was really good. Just quiet. It wasn't real busy at the time that we went in there. We had an early dinner, and from there we just kind of walked around. We went into a couple of the shops, and I think we went back to the room and just settled in for the night. I think we watched a movie on TV, read some books, and just enjoyed the balcony again. So once again, I want to thank you all for joining me on this day in Skagway. And boy, wait till next week's review of Glacier Bay. Amazing, amazing day. Although we didn't have any sunlight, but the views, regardless, it was almost like it was black and white. And you'll see that next week. Glacier Bay, the whole Alaska adventure with Glacier Bay. Highly recommend if you're going to go to Alaska. Look at the routes and see if it includes Glacier Bay. You will never be disappointed, no matter what time of the year you go, at the beginning of the cruise season to Alaska or the end, or during the summer. So anyway, thanks everybody again for watching. I hope you enjoyed this day in Skagway, and stay tuned for more from Jono's Adventure. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Help me reach the next goal of 500. I know we can do it. And that's it for the day. Thank you again. Love you all. Bye-bye.